Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Trader's Journey on YouTube. Been a long time since I've done another live, but we're going to come back with some exciting, it's not really exciting actually, some negative news surrounding the NIO stock. We're going to get into what's been going on with the stock, why is it so bearish on the charts, and we're going to go through some of the news that's come out that is affecting the EV sector and the car manufacturing space as a whole. So we're going to get into all of those details. Just before I get into this live, if you haven't checked out my Instagram, it is traderjourney_official. I'll leave the link in the description box below, so make sure you guys check that out. And let's get straight into this, because man, there's been some crazy stuff going on with the NIO play. People are getting bored, people are getting annoyed. The stock price just keeps falling. Every time it tries to recover, it just drops. What's going on? Alex, Yarrow, Noah, everyone else watching, welcome. So it seems pretty bearish from the charts, as you guys can see here, and nobody really knows what's going on. But I'm going to try and give you guys some information surrounding the sector and the space that's negatively affecting the stock. You guys know what's happening in the Suez Canal with the vessel that's stuck in the canal, that's causing global trade issues, and that is some of the sort of pieces of information I want to get into. I've got several articles up here on my web browser here, and there's so much information coming out on NIO that's affecting the stock negatively. And one of the main things, guys, that I want to make you guys aware of, that there's a Japanese factory, a company called Renesas, and they have got this article here which warns of a hit to global chip supply after a factory fire. Now, the whole semiconductor space is up in flames at the moment, and they're really struggling in terms of providing these semiconductors. And as you guys know, semiconductors is a huge requirement and huge need for these chips for the automotive industry. As you can see here from this article by Financial Times, Renesas Electronics, one of the world's largest makers of chips for the automotive industry, has warned that a fire at one of its factories could have a massive impact on global semiconductor supplies and halt production for at least a month. So we know the latest news is NIO production has been halted for around 5 days, and it's crazy. Oh, why am I having to fill in this form here? Let's just put, yeah. So crazy how 5 days of production hit on NIO of around 5 days has completely halted production. So I think that's caused the NIO actually had a good reversal here after hitting this low of 31.74, but since then it's just come back down to retest this support. And all this news is definitely ruining the investor confidence in the stock, at least in the short term, guys, at least in the short term. So this Japanese factory which has had a fire here, it's causing widespread disruption, and it's going to affect several other automakers for sure, and several other car manufacturers. So it's crazy to see, and the semiconductor chip space is just causing so many problems in so many different sectors, as well as mobile phones, because as you guys know, chips are used in several other industries and sectors, not just the auto maker industry. And yeah, crazy stuff. Sorry. Oh, looks like what's up, Toledo? What's good, my friend? Sorry, looks like we had a slight disruption there to the live, but we're back. But what I'm saying is, guys, that the whole market is down in red, but what's adding to the negative effects on the stock here is that we've had negative news, and the overall market is red. We're back team. Sorry about that. We had some disconnection there with my streaming device is playing up here, but that is the update on NIO, guys. So we are struggling here with the semiconductor space directly affecting the car manufacturing space. And then to add to that, the whole market has been pretty turbulent over the past couple of weeks. And that is just adding to this the problem here. So what do I see happening here? I'm hoping NIO at least catches support again at 31.74. If it does, that could be a good dip buy opportunity. And could we see lower? We could potentially see lower, at least in the short term. I am still invested in NIO, and it is a long-term holding of mine, and I'm not going to be rushing to sell the stock just because it's dropping in this particular fashion. We have to be prepared to ride through these dips which we see in the short term, and it's clear what's affecting the NIO stock here is purely its production. It's halting its production. It may have to force itself to reduce the car deliveries in what it's expecting for this year, but in the long term, NIO has always been a long-term holding for me, and it's always been a long-term play. So this is not going to scare me out of this particular play or this stock holding. I'm going to continue to hold this stock, guys, and I just wanted to give you guys an update because I know a lot of you have been asking me what's happening with NIO. Are you still invested in NIO? Yes, I am still invested in NIO. But as you can see from these latest news, that's come out affecting the stock and the car manufacturing space, we've seen all of the EV stocks being affected by this, guys. So it's not singled out for NIO. Alex P says here that NIO is my largest hold and I'm not worried. We'll be pleased in 2 years, hopefully. Exactly. And I think that's a very positive way to look at this, Alex, is I am down because I added a lot more into the NIO holding, and at this point I'm actually down. So am I worried? Like Alex says there, I'm not particularly worried. I think we're just gonna have to hold here, and when you're in these plays for the long term, as long as nothing extreme has affected the stock which will ruin your sentiment towards the stock, then there's no issues with adding at dips, because adding at 31 when it has that potential high there, at least in the short to medium of 64, it's a potential 100% return there, seen as though electrical vehicles are making year-on-year growth on electrical vehicle sales and the market as a whole. One thing I wanted to mention as well, guys, is Huawei. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but Huawei are looking to enter the electrical vehicle space. So we're seeing so many other, like we've seen Apple have talks about electrical vehicles and trying to enter that market, but we're seeing Huawei as well. Huawei, obviously you guys know, is a phone manufacturer, mobile phone manufacturer. They're looking to enter this space this year at some point. So that's crazy to think that we've got more entrants into this particular market, and it's going to be interesting to see where we go. But yeah, you love that, Alex, you love that. But NIO, tell you what, man, is it how do you guys say Huawei? How do you guys say it? It's so hard to even pronounce. I've been trying to avoid pronouncing it for so long, but now I've just had to pronounce it, and I'm gonna get a ton of hate for that. But anyway, that is the update on NIO, guys. So it is some news negatively affecting the stock. Will we see our way out of it? Yes, we will. And I think with the whole semiconductor space being affected globally with supply chain issues, and now there's Japanese fire, which is from the company Renesas. They are the largest makers of chips for the automotive industry. So this is directly affecting brands and car manufacturers such as NIO. So I don't believe anyone else has caught on to this article, but it caught my eye, and I said, I had to bring this to your attention, guys. But it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. But we're just going to have to stay patient with NIO and let it make its way out of this. But China itself is heavily pushing its way in the EV space, and tons of buyers are going to be stepping in, and there's going to be people buying up these cars in the years to come. And the EV space is still so early on in wide adoption of purchases, so we just have to be patient with this. In 5 to 10 years, I can see this being a huge. These manufacturers are going to be the most valuable EV car manufacturers in the world. But when you're talking about Mercedes-Benz, they're still going to be valued, but you'll see these type of companies catch up tremendously. Okay, so Alex P gives us a bit of a interesting one. He says, "Say it like Huawei." Oh man, that sounds wrong. You're trying to make me say it wrong, Alex. I see what you're doing there, buddy. I see what you're doing there. Huawei. Huawei. That's how I said it, isn't it? That's how I said it. Anyway, but yeah, that's the update for NIO, guys. It's we are in some crazy times in the market, and yeah. Like looking at the charts here, it does look pretty bearish, but if we support 31.74 here, I think we're good. We're supported. Look at the bounce at that 31.74 before. We had a great bounce, and I'm expecting it to support again. But if this 31.74 does not support, then be prepared for a wider drop here. Mario's asking what happened. Mario, I would just kindly advise if you could just rewind the live just to catch up on that. We just discussed it, but there's so much news affecting the sector because of the semiconductor space. There's shortages of chips. There's shortages of semiconductors that directly affect the car manufacturing space, and NIO is just one of those stocks. So without these chips being pushed through into NIO, they cannot complete. They're forced to stop their car manufacturing and halt their production of their vehicles. So it's just one of those things, guys, and we're gonna have to be patient with it. Alex P says, what's your thoughts on America trying to delist Chinese firms? That's an interesting one, Alex. Yeah, I mean, I think it's only going to happen if there's true and valid information being provided to warrant a delisting. I just don't think it's going to happen at the flick of a switch. I think it's going to come over time, and it's going to be through the evidence of information. And I think they can't simply delist for false accusations. They all have to be proved, right? So Alex P, I don't think it's gonna come as a wave. I think it's just going to be one of those processes as they look into their finances, look into their accounts more in more depth. They may uncover fraud. They may uncover fraudulent numbers, and that is the only way I think we'll see this sort of thing happen. But I don't see it. I see it happening over a period of time. I don't see it coming on in a huge wave, right? Yeah, Mario. There's just so much. What would be a good semiconductor play? Adam Sam, that's a great question. I personally like NNDM. You guys know I've been talking about NNDM on the channel quite a bit. I love NNDM. I think they're creating 3D printers for the semiconductor space. So I think they are breaking through into a sort of creating a new area for the semiconductor space, so where companies can actually buy these 3D printers and print them themselves. So I really like the NNDM play. It is pretty down at this point, but if you think about the whole semiconductor space as a whole, it's pretty red at the moment because they're struggling to keep up with the demand, and supply levels are just not meeting demand there, guys. So David's on 0831 says, if they delist it, Tesla will be also thrown out of China in response. Yeah, it could open up a trade war there, Alex P and David's. So yeah, that trade war is still ongoing from US to China. And there's so much going on there between that China and US relationship that we can see retaliation going on there. We can see retaliation happening with TikTok, Chinese companies as a whole. There's all this antitrust issues going on, and I think the retaliation is just going to happen. It's going to be a bit of a tech war going on there between US and China, and I firmly believe that is going to cause some disruption, especially with these type of stocks such as NIO, which we've just been discussing here. Alex P, we can cover NNDM. Let's just cover Mario's question or any other NIO questions. I think NIO will comply with the SEC auditing. Yeah, me too, Mario. I think that we're going to be fine with that. And yeah, but great long-term play for sure. NNDM. I'm still in NNDM as well. Rart P, I don't think we've had you on the live before. Welcome. I think he says he likes below sevens is good. So let's cover NNDM, because guys, would you believe on NNDM I entered and exited for about 7 days in a row just to catch all these gap ups, and then I ended up holding onto the stock for a long-term play. But this is what I did on NNDM, guys. See this upward trend here and this upward trend here? I was simply buying at the trend line, selling at the top, and then as it started to retrace, buy at the trend line again, sell, buy at the trend line again. I continued to do that for like a whole week in a row. Right, and now just like NIO, unfortunately we saw the upward trend break through, You know, with trend lines, it's so key, guys, that you can just continue to play trend lines and buy. And when the trend line breaks, wait for a bigger dip, like on NNDM. This broke the upward trend. This is one of my favorite ways of analysis for long-term plays, is watch what the trend's doing and monitor it closely. So as you can see here, the downward trend formed there, and really clean downward trend formed there, and then it finally caught support at 650. Now 650 would have been a great dip buy opportunity, and you may actually get that opportunity again as the upward trend broke down again. We may see it come back down to 692. At this point, for anyone interested in NNDM, I really like that 692 or even better 641 price. So that's what I'm looking at the moment, is that 641, 692 price. And I think if we hit that, that's absolutely fantastic. And I think that is a great buying opportunity, considering highs of $17.94 or potentially even $18 there, just shy of $18. Man, oh man, this could be a very, very nice play. I think 641, you know, it's got the potential of being 100% play. Right, thanks very much, Rart P. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your name right. No, I really appreciate you and appreciate the feedback. But as you can see from the charts, guys, the upward trends and the downward trends for long-term holdings and long-term buy-ins and sells, this is fantastic. You could use this, a very easy strategy for anyone to implement, and it's not hard to do this analysis by yourself on these charts. But as you can see, I had that support level there of 694. So I personally feel we could come down to there and we could retest that. Same as goes with NIO, guys. I really think NIO has the potential here of coming down even more. And 3174, if you don't get 3174, I think 3440, right? Those two levels are good dip buys at this point. But if 3440 doesn't hold, then expect 3170 to come down and retest that support level. I think that would be fantastic, those dip buy opportunities. But I really like NNDM as a semiconductor a chip manufacturer stock. It's the reason why I like it compared to the Intels, compared to the other chip manufacturing stocks. They've all just slipped my mind, guys. I should know this, but all the other chip manufacturer semiconductor space stocks, this one excites me the most because of the market cap being so. The potential of this stock is a lot greater than the other semiconductors in the market. These guys have an opportunity of creating so much more value here, and breaking into this space, they can seriously get some huge returns here for shareholders. But yeah, I like this. I like NNDM. I think it's going to be a fantastic play. What do you guys think? Any other stocks you guys wanted me to look at? But the live today was purely for NIO, and I think NIO is, after this negative news affecting the semiconductor space, it is definitely affecting the stock negatively here. Will we return? I think we will. We just have to be patient here in the short term. When I say short term, I firmly believe in the next 6 months. We got to be patient throughout the next 6 months. But yeah, this could be an opportunity for most of you guys to average down on the stock if you're in here for the long term, which I am. I haven't averaged down yet. But I will be looking to average down hopefully at that 31.74 price level. So I really hope you guys have enjoyed this live. That was just a quick update and a quick emergency news that I wanted to bring to the channel. If anyone's new to this live or video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, join the community. Make sure you give me a follow here on Instagram. I'm just going to drop it into the live chat so you guys can give me a follow there. And make sure you drop in the DMs, slide in the DMs if you want to get into any conversations or any discussions surrounding what I've discussed in today's live. Feel free to do that. I'll leave the link of these articles once the video gets posted for this live. I'll leave it into the comments section so you guys, or the description box, sorry, so you guys can catch those. Yes, sir, Adam Sam. Yeah, I'm glad you caught it too, my friend. I'm glad you caught it too. Make sure you guys drop a like on this live. It really helps me out. G. Dot, what is defined as long term? Very good question. I like these questions. Keep these questions coming, guys. I'm happy to answer them in the live chat. Adam Sam, grateful that you managed to join a live with us today. Really, really fantastic. So to answer G. Dot's question, what is defined as long term? I define long term anywhere in excess of 12 months. Thanks, Alex. Enjoy your evening too. Thanks for joining yet again, Alex. Always joining the lives. Really appreciate you, bro. So G. Dot, yeah, I would define anything as long term, anything in excess of 12 months, all the way up to 5 years, and anything beyond that, right? A lot of people would define it otherwise, but that is what I would define it as. And could you repeat that question, Inde Lacoste? I don't quite understand that. Okay, bands, I just mentioned it in the live, so I'd advise you to rewind the live. But the semiconductor space is affecting the NIO stock, and they've had to halt production, and they cannot continue to meet their deliveries that they've told analysts, because they've had to halt production of their vehicles due to the fact that the semiconductor space is struggling to supply them with the chips they need to complete the production of their vehicles. So that's what's happened, bands. Hope that makes sense. So yeah, long term, this is going to be a 12 months to 5 years to 6 years hold for me. It's always been, a extremely long term hold for me for NIO. But anything less than 12 months, I would say that's a short term hold, right? So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Any other questions? Make sure you leave it in the live chat. So yeah, Bands says, what's your price prediction 12 months? Okay, so NIO, now the price prediction which I'll say for NIO will depend on how their car manufacturing and car deliveries, how they succeed with that, right? So if they succeed with the car deliveries, they hit their projections and they hit their revenue projections on terms of car sales, then I would easily see this at $80. Personally, I see this at $80. Where's $80? $80 around here. I personally, before this breakdown in the stock price with this, I saw $80. If this upward trend was intact, I would have seen $80. But because we've come down almost half the stock value to $36, a very optimistic price prediction for the next 12 months, I would personally see at $80. And a probably conservative price prediction would be back to the all-time highs here of $66 to $67, right? That's what the charts are telling me, and that's what I've done in terms of my own analysis. But considering where we are at now, it's worrying, right? It's worrying. But we need to see global demand pick up, the supply chain pick up, and car manufacturing pick up. When that all picks up and global trade picks up, there's no doubt for me we see that back up that all-time high level. Hope that answers your question, Bands. Thanks for your question. Right, answering next question. Adam Sam, is Nokia a good 5G long-term play? Yes, I believe so. I think they'll struggle in the short term though, but long term, yeah, I think they have potential because they're turning into a B2B business model rather than a B2C. So what's up, Maraki? What's good, my friend? Nice to see you here. Nice to see you here. So yeah, I like Nokia, but is it the exciting play? I don't know if it's as exciting as it was made out to be, but I think it has potential. Yeah. All right. So can you please cover SOS stock? Yeah. Well, I guess we've covered NIO. We've covered all those plays, right? So SOS had some news that said that they were going to create a sort of asset marketplace, digital asset marketplace. Don't know if you guys saw that, but it was a bit of a pump and dump in the short run here, because it ran up and then it came crashing down. See the spike here in the stock price? Let me just get rid of this so you guys can see the charts clearly. But you see the spike here I'm just going to zoom in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. This spike right here, which we saw on the 23rd of March in pre-market, you guys will see this, but it was a bit of a pump and dump there in the short run. But the reason for that was there was some news that SOS are coming out with a digital asset marketplace. So people were thinking along the lines of a NFT marketplace and that sort of thing, right? And then when that came out, the price surged up here. And then it came back down and is now trending at this $6 level. But considering all the negative news which has supposedly come out on SOS, it's very surprising that it's managing to hold up at $6. Believe me, guys, if the news came out and it was affecting investor and buyer confidence in the stock, believe me, this could come down to $2, $3 in a flash. But it hasn't, which gives me a bit of confidence here. Me and the team are completely out of the SOS play because we caught those exciting NFT plays which happened last week. So me and the team are out of SOS now officially. But we took our money, we ran, and we played some more exciting plays. It was simple as that. Am I still confident that SOS could make money in the future? Yeah, I believe so. I'm not disputing that, and I still think SOS is a great play. Considering it's trending here at the $6 level pretty strongly here, I'm still confident it has potential. And it is ranging here from 924 to 511. This range, you can see it's a huge range here, and it's continuing to range in between here. I think it's going to continue to consolidate until we get through this negative phase of all these accusations against the stock. So once we pass over that and that succeeds, I think we move on to the next phase, and I think SOS can start to run again. And as the market picks up, I think we can see a recovery in the stock. But Meraki, very good point, and I did discuss this earlier in the live as well, that obviously the Chinese stocks are under risk of being delisted in the US. And I think that is a potential risk for any Chinese stock, including SOS. And I think SOS, we have to wait. Some of the accusations that have been made on the stock and the company, I think if they get cleared, then I don't see it being a risk of being delisted. Oh, Mr. Bongman, hello, my friend. Nice to have you with us, Bongman. You're not late at all, man. You're not late at all. I did cover off, unfortunately, I've already covered off the news affecting the NIO stock. But let me know if you need me to give you a quick briefing on that. But Meraki, yeah, I'm totally with you. With the US-China trade war, it's going to cause some retaliation. And there's going to be, I think there's more in the works there. I think there's going to be some more negativity and more things affecting these Chinese US stocks. And I think we're yet to see the full effects of it. But I think as long as you've researched your stocks, in a sufficient amount of detail, and understand the business operation, right? I think you're gonna be saved from any sort of delisting here. But yeah, I appreciate your comment, Meraki. I appreciate your comment. Oh, thanks, Bongman. No, I'll give you a quick update just in case you want to save yourself. But yeah, I mean, the semiconductor space is going through tremendous amount of shortages in terms of meeting demand, and that is having a knock-on effect on the car manufacturing space, notably NIO. And NIO has then subsequently have had to halt their production of vehicles because they haven't been able to receive these semiconductors and chips in time. So therefore the NIO stock has reacted negatively to that. And rightly so, right? Because investors are stepping out here. But I think it's only going to be affecting the stock in the short term, and I think in the long term we'll have that recovery on NIO. Meraki says, yeah, man, also if NIO try and do a list, this can be problematic as well. Yeah, exactly. As you may have heard me mention that XPeng and all the other EV stocks, including NIO, are looking to list in Hong Kong. So I think that it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because it could be very interesting. But NIO as a business, NIO as a car manufacturer, I still think there's huge potential, and we will see the EV sector space grow year on year. And as long as these trade war settles and people can all get along, then we'll be in for some fun on on NIO. So yeah. Meraki says you might have to invest in Hong Kong. Jeez, we got a Chinese investor here, Meraki. All right. So any other questions? Because yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the live today. Thanks for everyone who's watched the live. It's been an interesting one. But yeah, NIO, breaking news here, guys. But I think it's only going to affect the short term play for the stock. In the long term, still very bullish on NIO and that whole EV space. But yeah, a couple of other things to think about, as Meraki rightly says as well. Oh, Tesla. I'm glad you mentioned Tesla. Aaron Mannion, month. I don't think we're going to get anywhere spectacular on NIO in the next month, if I'm honest. So that's pretty hard for me to say. I think in a month we might see 45 at most in a month, but no spectacular price predictions for me for NIO in the next month. That's a good question, Mr. Bongman. It's a good question. Maybe I go through that now for you. Give me a second. I want to save that for our members, Mr. Bongman. So Bongman, I'm going to make a separate session for us, for the members, and we go through that. We go through my analysis in greater depth. But I'll send you some stuff, Mr. Bongman, in the Discord, and we can get talking about that. Because I prefer to save that knowledge there for my members. And as you are a member, Bongman, we're gonna discuss that. No, we're live with the public here, Mr. Bongman. So what else we got here? Lead call from Elon says they may hit 1 million. Let's go into Tesla, because I know that one's been a lot of questions on Tesla I've been getting in the DMs. So how about I cover that for you guys, shall we? Man, Tesla's crazy, because so many analysts have come in and given price targets of Tesla of like $100, right? Which is nuts. And where we're sitting now, this looks very similar. Guys, are we seeing this? This looks very similar to NIO. Check this chart. Guys. Check this chart. Does this not look like NIO to you? Does this not look like NIO to you guys? It sure as hell looks like NIO to me, because this is looking exactly the same as NIO here. Very interesting. So it looks like the EV space is being affected very similarly here, guys, as you can see from the charts. Potential inverse cup and handle, which is pretty bearish at this point. So yeah, this looks pretty bearish at this point. Both NIO and Tesla. Meraki is a very good spot there. It is an inverse cup and handle which is being formed here. And it looks like they're doing the same thing. You see this upward trend here? You see that upward trend? I mean, you could play these stocks exactly the same way, guys. There's no secret magic trick to my analysis. I look at the bigger time frames. I understand what's happening in the market. I look at the news, understand, is it negatively affecting the stock? And these EV plays, the whole car manufacturing space is being affected negatively with the semiconductors, right? So I see them both reacting in the same way. Obviously, NIO and Tesla, they're completely different market caps, and different type of investors are in these stocks. But the charts look very, very scarily similar here on the charts. And what are my thoughts on NIO? Tesla. I think, just as I said on NIO, I think that support of 541 could easily test here. Meraki says SOXL. Interesting. I haven't heard of that one. So we can maybe cover that off in a second on the charts. But yeah, I think Tesla might come down to 541. Especially if the fact that the whole market overall doesn't recover well into next week. I think Tesla could easily come down and bring the market down on S&P 500. So, I mean, considering the runs we've had on Tesla, it wouldn't surprise me if we see bigger sell-offs on Tesla. But you guys, I'm sure you guys are aware that Kathy Woods have given Tesla a price projection of like $3,000 or whatever in the next 3 to 5 years or whatever it was. So, which is a pretty crazy statement. But considering where Tesla's come, I would want to see Tesla go into different sectors, not just the EV space, but maybe push more into the crypto space, because we know how much Elon Musk is loving the crypto at the moment. He's definitely trying to push Bitcoin to newer highs. So I would like to see Tesla involve themselves in new business, not just the EV space. I would like them to make themselves into a bit of a conglomerate into different crypto space, NFTs, whatever you want to call it. I just want to see them expand their horizons. And at this point, I mean, it's hard to say where we go, but with Cathie Woods, you know, we do trust what she says. She has been right a lot of the time, but you know, it's a pretty wild statement to make, to see Tesla at 3,000. But is it possible? I think so. So yeah. Sorry, Mr. Bongman makes a very good point here. Yes, Tesla is involved with the energy space, which is a very good point, with the octopus energy, I think it was called, right? Which is a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. But yeah, I don't know. You know, it's a tough one. We want to see them expand their horizons in those sectors, which Mr. Bongman has rightly said there in the live chat. So that would be interesting to see that happen. So Meraki says, if autopilot works, it's game over. If it doesn't, Tesla to 100. Yeah, autopilot as well. Yeah, that is an interesting space as well, and they are definitely making some developments in that space as well. But there is so much at risk here with Tesla. I personally think that it can swing either way, as you guys say in the live chat there. There's so much that can go wrong, and there's so much that can go right for Tesla. And I think the risks that Elon has taken thus far has proven that it's worked out pretty well for the stock, right? And if he continues on that trajectory, I only see the Tesla stock doing well. But you guys need to look at the analyst ratings, because some of those analyst ratings are pretty wild, guys. Pretty wild. If I'm not mistaken, I think JP Morgan gave a price target, downgraded it to $125 or something. Volkswagen, Paolo, I read in the papers about Volkswagen this weekend that they're trying to sue the old chief executive officer, the old CEO. They're trying to sue the old chiefs of the company because of the whole scandal with the diesel pollution and pollution and carbon monoxide released by their vehicles. So there's a bit of a lawsuit going on internally with Volkswagen. Paolo says NIO. I'll definitely pick NIO over Volkswagen. Yeah, exactly, Meraki. Who I don't know anyone invested in Volkswagen at this point. Yeah, I mean, they've got some serious stuff going on internally at Volkswagen. The news is out there, you guys. You can see it for yourself. But they're trying to sue the old CEO, and I think the old CFO, if I'm not mistaken. But they're trying to sue them for all those scandals that went on with Volkswagen, as they try to understate how much pollution was being the output of the pollution on their vehicles. So the carbon particles being released. So pretty corrupt stuff going on there. But obviously they've cleaned up their act, so they may have potential in the future for Volkswagen. But just the stuff going on internally there, which I've read this weekend. Mr. Bongman, thoughts on NGA merger with Lion Electric? Ooh, is that the, if I'm not mistaken, is that they're trying to make electrical vehicle trucks, right? I do really like that Lion Electric company. That's pretty interesting. I'm not looking to rush into any of those plays at this point, if I'm honest, Mr. Bongman, but maybe I'll look into that personally for you in a bit more depth after the live. But Paolo says, thoughts on CCIV? I'm not interested in CCIV. We've exited CCIV a long time ago, but just for the purposes of the live, seeing as though you asked the question, how about we quickly touch on CCIV, shall we? But I did cover this on the live previously, and what I said on CCIV is I think we range in this area. between $32 and $21. I think we range there. I think we consolidate and continue to range in that price bracket, and I don't see us going anywhere higher in the short term, because CCIV is yet to prove a lot before we see these before we see anything spectacular happen in the share price. First thing I want to see is they need to at least hit their projected sales of 50,000 cars. I think that's what they said. Secondly, they need to at least produce vehicles, at least hit some, create some profit, at least hit some revenue targets. But until then, I think CCIV is just gonna range between this price level for a long time. So it's not looking good for CCIV. If anyone entered at that $60 or anywhere near that, it's not looking good at this point. Meraki says, check Maxer, pretty sure it will be added into the ARC-X ETF. Interesting. Another Cathy Woods ETF, guys, coming up shortly, being beaten down quite a bit as well recently. All right, let's have a look at, thank you Paolo, for your question. I hope that answers your question. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are dropping a like on this live. Really appreciate it if you could. Let's have a look at Maxer, because Meraki has brought that stock to my attention. So he says, Meraki thinks we might see this added to the ARC-X ETF, guys. So the ARC-X ETF in electronic technology, aerospace, and defense. So this is an interesting stock, because I think governments such as the United States will be adding to their sort of defense spending, seen as though so much is going on in the whole world in terms of nuclear development and nuclear warfare. So I think this could be a stock where you could see significant amounts of investment to protect the US security, right? National security. So Meraki says has a $58 price target as well. Jeez, this could be a good play. Let's just look at it on the bigger time frame. The bigger time frame looks like 71 was an all-time high here, or 67. So wow, I think we could easily, and then there's another peak here of 58.70, and I think that could easily be achieved here. And then we've got another high here, which I'd like to chart, 55. And Meraki says as a price target, I believe that 58. Looking at the charts here, 58. Geez, yeah, that's gonna be achievable. Looking at these charts here, but what would I want to see before I enter into this play? Oh, I would want to see that downward. This looks like it's consolidating here, and this is what I want to see break before I even consider entering into this stock here, Meraki, because we could easily come down even more. The next support, is just been hit there of 32.63, which I like. But for a safe entry, you would want to wait for this trend to break, and then you could ride that up to 58. But not huge returns if you were to play at the break of the downward trend. But if you want a riskier entry, you could have played this dip buy at $32. But who knows? But yeah, I mean, maybe it's a longer term play if Meraki suggesting that ARC-X may add this to the ETF. But yeah, charts aren't interesting me if you've got a price valuation there in the 30s. If you look at the 4-hour chart, let's look at the 4-hour chart then, Meraki, my friend. Yeah. Where would we need to see this before a rally commences? Potentially here. This price level needs to get charted. 41.15 looks pretty key at this point, and it's previously sold off from 39.90. I must admit, Meraki, I really appreciate the suggestion, but it doesn't excite me at this point. It's not exciting me at this point. But I'm going to keep an eye on it, seeing as though you've suggested it, Meraki, so I really appreciate it. I appreciate it, Meraki. it could be a stock to keep an eye on for a short play there. But I think it would be a worthwhile play if you're entering at $32 if it hits 58. But if you're playing a safer entry, 44 to 58, what percentage return that is, who knows? But thank you for bringing that to the attention, Meraki. Appreciate you, my friend. So yeah, guys, that's really what I wanted to cover. Sorry about the interruption, the live earlier with the connection problem, but we're hopefully going to fix that up and hopefully it doesn't happen again. But yeah, really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I remember you mentioning CLIS, Meraki. We'll bring that up again. What's the update on CLIS? Clickstream Corporation. Yep, OTC, my friend, OTC. I remember. This one looks to be waiting for a pop, guys. This one is looking for a pop. You can easily see it on the charts here. This one is just waiting for that day where volume spikes. So what I would say to you, Meraki, on this stock, just wait for volume to creep up again. Yeah, dude, this one's looking to rip. It's just looking to rip with highs of 59. Oh man, it's just looking to rip, isn't it? It's just waiting for that pop. But Meraki, I would wait for volume to go above average. Wait for volume to creep above average before you wait for that next pop. Because as you can see here, this pop, if you go to the 1 hour, what I would suggest, Meraki, go to the 1 hour time frame. Right? Go to the 1 hour time frame. Right? When you see volume start spiking above average here, that is your cue. That is your cue. That is your cue for a little pop here, buddy. Because when you saw it dip here, volume was still spiking, even though price was only at 17 cents. And you see volume spiking, and then it started dropping, then boom, it creeped up. And that volume was telling me that we could have had some insider buying because people knew what was coming, right? They knew what news was going to get announced. So I think the same thing here. We wait for volume to pick up, maybe on the smaller time frame. If you want to catch it early, go to the 30-minute time frame. Why not? Go to the 30-minute time frame. As you see volume spike, try and get a good dip buy here at 17 cents. Then there we go, buddy. There we go. Easy money, easy money. So I think we could see this one pop. I very much appreciate Meraki bringing this one to the table. But yeah, CLIS, I very much like it. I like the charts. I like the consolidation. I like the support. I would preferably like to buy in at 17 cents. Right? I would preferably like to buy in at 17 cents. Meraki's already got the limit order already ready to get fired away at 17 cents, which is beautiful. That is beautiful, Meraki. So yeah, buying at 17 cents with highs of 60 cents. Goodness me. Goodness me. My goodness, that is a fantastic play. Fantastic play. Even with a short-term profit target of 40 cents, that's an easy 100% play there. Easy 100% play. And Meraki is 10k shares deep. He is 10k shares deep. That's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So thanks very much, Meraki. Thanks for everyone watching. It seems as though it's just Meraki chatting away here in the live chat. So I appreciate you, Meraki. We'll be coming back on for tomorrow to catch any new plays for the week. So make sure you join us at the same time tomorrow, guys. And I wish you guys all a fantastic weekend and enjoy your Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday evening. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you follow me over there on Instagram. I'll leave the link in the live chat once again if you guys want to give me a follow there, as we do provide some story updates, Instagram updates, and you guys can slide into the DMs if you want to get into some discussions with me, or if you want to be added to the waiting list for the Discord group. Feel free to drop me a message on Instagram, DM me there, and I can add you to the waiting list. But we will be catching some more runners for the whole of this year, every single day. So stay tuned. Thank you, Mr. Bongman. We're going to catch up with you, Mr. Bongman. We'll do a private session, Mr. Bongman, just to cover off my charting. So let me know when you're free, Mr. Bongman. Let me know in the Discord and we can arrange that. Thanks very much, mostly Reefs. Thanks for joining again. Thanks for everybody supporting. Appreciate you guys. We'll catch you all on the next one. Take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.